Hey everyone, it's Kathryn. Before we start, quick note from me. Gabriel and I are taking a short break to close out the summer. A real vacation. Well, vacation-ish. There's really just a no case files rule in effect. And we'll see how long that lasts. But we are not leaving you hanging. For the next 2 Mondays, we're taking you back to where this show started. Before the serialized deep dives, the format was simpler. I'd walk you through one person's story, their origin, their rise, how it all came apart. And then I would interview Gabriel, and he would jump in with the psychology and his commentary that we have all come to love and definitely elicit a wow here or there. Back then, I thought I could keep these episodes under an hour. Yeah, I was wrong every single time. These are our original case files, and today we're opening with a good one. Victor Lustig, the man who sold the Eiffel Tower to a scrap metal dealer. And the scrap metal dealer part is real. And so is the second attempt. So if you want more after this, all 12 original case files are on our Patreon, along with the actual records we dug up when we were researching each case. Real documents, real receipts. That's patreon.com/Mugshot Mysteries. New episodes are back August 31st. Until then, enjoy this one.
Welcome back, Mugshotters. I'm your host, Kathryn.
And I'm Gabriel.
Now let's set the scene. It's springtime in Paris, 1925. The Eiffel Tower rises like a steel crown over the city, proud, iconic, and quietly falling apart. The newspapers whisper of corrosion, of budget shortfalls, and some city officials even talk of tearing it down. And in a gilded suite at the Hotel de Crillon, a sharply dressed man adjusts his tie. His shoes are polished to a mere shine. A crisp mustache curves just above a half smile. In his briefcase, government stationery, forged seals, and a plan bold enough to work. He's not a politician. He's not a diplomat. He's not even French. But he is about to sell the Eiffel Tower. And not because he owns it, but because he says he does. This is Victor Lustig. And this is the story of a man who sold the impossible and made the world believe it was real.
Yeah, Victor.
Sneaky footsteps in the night, clues that vanish out of sight. Grab your hat and magnifying glass. We'll talk this case and have a blast. Mugshot Mysteries, we're on the trail. Twists and turns that never fail. Laughs and chills, it's quite the show. Who did it? Tune in to know.
Now let's rewind to the beginning of Victor Lustig's career. And I do mean career. Because this wasn't a hobby. It wasn't some impulsive string of crimes. It was a lifelong performance. Victor Lustig was born on January 4th, 1890 in a quiet Bohemian town of Hostinje, which is now part of the Czech Republic. No nobility, no inheritance, just a sharp-minded boy with a talent for reinvention. His parents, Ludwig Lustig and Fanny Ritchie, weren't rich. But Victor figured something out early. If you couldn't be important, you could at least look the part. And by the time he was a teenager, he could speak 5 languages. He was clean-cut, formal, unnervingly calm, the kind of person who didn't have to raise his voice to command a room. But by his 20s, well, he was gliding across the Atlantic, sailing aboard luxury liners, dressed to the nines, mingling with millionaires and charming them out of their fortunes. And he had a signature trick, a box, a Romanian money box. It looked like something out of a magician's act. It had brass knobs, turning gears, a little hiss of mechanical mystery, and Victor would insert a crisp, genuine $100 bill into the device, and out would come a second, perfectly matched, same serial number, identical in every way. His mark? Stunned. Victor, calm as ever, would explain. It's real, but it takes 6 hours to process the next one. The delay? Well, it bought him just enough time to disappear. Or better yet, sell the box for thousands. One furious man reportedly tracked him through 3 cities after realizing the truth. Victor listened politely and then sold him another box. Because Victor Lustig didn't just sell lies. He sold belief. He sold confidence. He made people feel smart for trusting him. And as the Evening Sun once reported, the great-faced, perfectly poised Lustig merely shrugged as evidence piled up against him. Because for Victor, performance was everything. In the world, it was a stage. Paris, 1925. The Eiffel Tower stood tall over the city, an icon to tourists, a point of pride to some, and to others, a financial burden. The newspapers ran quiet blurbs about its upkeep, rust, seal fatigue, the cost of maintaining such a massive structure. There were whispers, just whispers, that the government might consider dismantling it. To most Parisians, it was just background noise. To Victor Lustig, well, that was an opportunity. He was living in Paris under one of his many aliases, slipping through high society like perfume in the air. And when he saw that article in the paper, he didn't just read it. He rewrote the ending. Victor forged a letter. It had an official letterhead, a government seal, bureaucratic flourishes, and he was claiming to be the deputy director at the French Ministry of Posts and Telegraphs. Then he did something brilliant. He rented a suite at the Hotel de Crillon, one of the most elegant addresses in Paris, the kind of place where foreign dignitaries stay, the kind of place where deals happen behind closed doors. And there, with silk curtains and polished marbles as his backdrop, Victor invited 5 of the city's most prominent scrap metal dealers. He told them, quietly and confidentially, that the Eiffel Tower was going to be sold for scrap. A private government deal strictly off the record. The tower, he said, had become too expensive to maintain. And the French government, well, they wanted discretion. One dealer in particular stood out, André Poisson. He was ambitious, young, new to the scene, a man looking to prove himself, to make a name. And Victor, ever the psychologist, well, he saw it immediately. He courted Poisson like a mark in a ballroom. Charm, trust, exclusivity. And then, the ask. There would need to be a small facilitation fee to ensure that the deal went smoothly. Unofficial, of course. A personal gesture. Poisson paid it, eagerly. And when he realized, days later, that he had been conned, he didn't call the police. He was too ashamed. Victor Lustig vanished with the money. He fled to Vienna, where he drank champagne and laughed in high society. And then he came back. Weeks later, Lustig returned to Paris and tried to run the same scam again, and this time with a different set of scrap dealers. But the con had lost its novelty. Someone got suspicious, and someone told the police. And when they arrived, Victor was already gone. He was always one step ahead. As the St. Louis Globe-Democrat later described him, the swindler who lived like a banker in disguise, chauffeur, limousine, and the power of persuasion to match. He hadn't just sold the Eiffel Tower. He had sold possibility. After Paris, Victor Lustig was no longer just a con man. He was a shapeshifter, a man with a passport for every occasion and a name for every room. In the United States, he moved through society like smoke, impossible to pin down. He called himself Robert V. Miller, Victor Foster, and George Shobo, sometimes simply the Count. And in 1925, he applied for an official U.S. passport, claiming to be a San Francisco native named Robert V. Miller. Born in America, he said, a patriotic businessman. All lies. But the government bought it. Because when Victor Lustig walked into a room, he didn't just look the part. He became it. And then he set his sights on someone truly dangerous. Al Capone. Yeah, that Al Capone. Victor approached him with the air of a polished investor. He proposed a lucrative opportunity, high return, low risk, the kind of deal whispered about in back rooms. No details, just confidence. And Capone, who didn't trust anyone, handed him $50,000. Victor held the money for 2 months, never touched it. And then he returned to Capone, eyes low, voice solemn. The deal had failed, he said. He hadn't lost the money, though. He was returning it. Every cent. Capone was stunned, not by the failure, but by the honesty. He handed Victor a $5,000 thank you. That reward? Well, that was the real con. Victor had read Capone like a book. He knew that earning his trust would be more profitable than any swindle. And somehow, he walked away. He conned one of the most feared men in American history, and he lived to smirk about it. By the early 1930s, Victor Lustig had leveled up. No more clever boxes, no more polite bribes. And this time, he wasn't just stealing from the rich. He was manufacturing money. He had built one of the most sophisticated counterfeiting rings in American history. Not a sloppy backroom operation. This was tight, professional, and industrial. His partner? A former pharmacist named William Watts, a man with steady hands and a gift for detail. Together, they created fake $20 bills so perfect, so meticulously engraved, that even trained eyes couldn't tell the difference. Banks accepted them, businesses didn't blink, and even the U.S. Treasury was fooled. According to the Des Moines Register, the engraving on the 20s was almost flawless. The ink and paper also defied detection. Victor ran the operation like a ghost. They rented hotel rooms across cities. Never the same place twice. The plates were hidden, the bills were stored in lockers beneath the New York City subway, and at night, someone would quietly retrieve them. There were no fingerprints, no patterns, just clean, silent movement. Until it fell apart. In 1935, the Secret Service raided a Times Square locker. Inside, $50,000 in counterfeit notes. And worse, the printing plates. It was evidence they'd been chasing for years. They traced it back to Lustig, and he was arrested. But Victor wasn't finished. On September 1st, 1935, just weeks after his capture, he tied together a rope made of bedsheets and escaped from a federal detention center, slipping out the window like a character in his own pulp novel. He was caught soon after, though, in Pittsburgh. And this time, he didn't fight it. He pled guilty. No spectacle and no grand performance. In April 1936, Victor Lustig was transferred to Alcatraz, inmate number 300, occupation, apprentice salesman. And even then, even in chains, he never dropped the act. It was the closing curtain of a criminal career so smooth, it almost didn't feel real. Victor Lustig didn't die in a hail of bullets. He didn't go out in handcuffs on a grand stage, and there was no final con, just pneumonia and a hospital bed. On March 11th, 1947, at the U.S. Medical Center for Federal Prisoners in Springfield, Missouri, Victor Lustig slipped away quietly. No headlines, no escape, no applause. He was 57 years old. And in the end, even death couldn't strip him of his control. He kept his routine in prison, read constantly, shaved every day. He never unraveled. He never confessed to anything he hadn't already been caught doing. And he never admitted weakness. He simply vanished. As the Des Moines Register noted shortly after his death, there's still a great deal of Lustig money in circulation. Even in death, his work lived on. Because Victor Lustig didn't just forge paper. He forged belief. He crafted reality. And somewhere, even now, there are people holding on to crisp 20s, still unaware they're holding a lie. To understand why Victor Lustig thrived, you have to understand the era he moved through. The early 20th century wasn't just a time of invention and expansion. It was a time of illusion. Prohibition had blurred the lines between right and wrong. Everyone, from housewives to lawmakers, bent the rules just to survive. The First World War had left people shaken, searching for meaning, craving stability. And suddenly, everyone was chasing money. The 1920s and 30s were the age of stock tips, get-rich-quick schemes, and smooth-talking salesmen who promised the moon. Confident men weren't just tolerated. They were expected. In a world of addiction to ambition, they looked like leaders. And that's the trick. Victor Lustig didn't prey on ignorance. He preyed on ego. He made his victims feel brilliant for believing him. He wrapped them in exclusivity, inviting them into the inside deal, the backroom offer, special opportunity. He didn't steal from fools. He stole from people who thought they were too smart to be fooled. And that's why it worked. Because in the age of confidence, it wasn't truth people wanted. It was the feeling of being chosen. Okay, so Victor's quite a character. But here's the thing. So Victor wasn't violent. He just lied. So what do you think makes a con man tick?
Well, I mean, I'm glad you're using this time to describe me as well as a non-violent man who just lies sometimes, you know.
What have you been lying about?
Well, I'm a con man, so you don't know.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm a really bad liar. I always say, like that movie, Minority Report. Have you seen it?
Didn't we stay in the hotel?
Minority? What hotel? What? Oh, the hotel where they shot something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Didn't we?
Yeah, I think so.
We stayed in the room.
So I don't remember what the hotel is called, but in like the movie, it's supposed to be like kind of like a crack den looking place.
Well, that's kind of what it felt like.
That's where we stayed. So I don't know what that says about us, but
it was family recommended.
It was recognizable. It was in LA. So, you know, I mean, it's like, hey, look, this crack den, it's $300 a night. But do you know who stayed here before? The Belushi brothers.
Really?
No, I'm just saying that's LA. You know what I mean? Like everything. Okay, here's my thought. And now we're going off topic. But
Great, you are a con man.
We got to talk about LA first.
Okay.
And my theory is that I think LA needs to just tear everything down and start over. You know what I mean? Just like, and then like, you know, like how they have those videos where you power wash and you're just like, it's like oddly satisfying because you just see like
ASMR.
Yeah. I think everybody just needs to leave for like, I don't know, a week or so. They need to power wash the whole city and then they can all come back and it'll just be a much better place.
That I agree with. When you were saying it needs to start fresh, I thought you meant like tear it down, build everything up. Like, oh, you've just made a lot of Los Angeles. What do they call it? Los
Angelinos.
Well, oh, crap. You made a lot of people in LA.
Okay.
You made a lot of people in LA very angry.
Okay. No, I don't think so because trust me, there was like $2 million, 1,400 square foot houses that were built in like 1976.
No, I agree. So we don't want to tear it down.
No, they would definitely be fine if that thing got torn down and then rebuilt. So I'm just saying. I think
Hollywood guys.
Most people would be okay with it. No fires. No more fires. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying power wash at least.
Yeah, and can we start with Hollywood? I was so like severely disappointed when I went to like see it for the first time.
Hollywood is horrible.
It's the worst. It's not glamorous at all.
Well, I mean, I think it's one of those. It's just one of those things where like people come back from the Louvre and they're like, dude, the Mona Lisa is like really small. Like it was very underwhelming. You know what I mean? And people are like, bro,
I waited
like
5 hours for it.
Like Hollywood is horrible, and people are like, no, it can't be that bad. And then all of a sudden there's like somebody dressed up as Tinkerbell like smoking a cigarette on the side.
No, it's SpongeBob. SpongeBob made here's my pop culture moment. Do we not remember when SpongeBob was like accosting people on the streets in LA? Like he got into like some violent fights. He was stalking people that were taking pictures and not paying him. This is a while ago, like gosh, maybe 15 years ago. It was crazy. And I was like, dude, I saw that SpongeBob. I didn't take a picture with him though.
Hey, you know, pineapples are, they're rough and spiky, you know what I mean? And he lives in one. And all I'm saying is don't take a picture of SpongeBob and not pay the man.
It's true.
You know what I mean? He's not there for fun. Do you think he's there for entertainment?
So SpongeBob was violent, but not Victor. So
he just lied.
He just lied.
He just lied. Okay, so he was a better man, I think. No, maybe not. Maybe not. Well, maybe. I don't know. You know, SpongeBob, Victor, similar people, both con men. So
what makes them tick?
So I have a theory about life, right? It's surprising.
So surprising.
So my theory is that people want to find one thing that they can focus on that will explain everything. So we want to find the meaning of life somewhere.
Yeah.
And then we want to do that so we can move on with everything, you know? So it's like Christianity, like I'm a Christian, that explains everything, you know? And I'm not saying it doesn't. Scientologist, is that a religion?
It's a tax break.
It doesn't explain everything.
It's a tax break.
It's a tax break. Okay. Which is also in LA, right? The headquarters. Yeah. I think we saw that. That's also very underwhelming.
There's this guy that's going around dancing in front of their like headquarters and making their security like very angry. It's going viral, and I really like this person.
You know what, Scientologists? I don't know enough about you to be mad, right? Do we know enough?
I do.
Oh, you watched the documentary?
Oh, I am so all in.
It's reality TV.
Yeah, they had a show. Mike Rinder, may he rest in peace. Leah Remini did it with him, and then they also had a podcast afterwards, and it was pretty informative.
Okay, never mind. And now I'm remembering all the things I know about Scientology. Not bad. I'm doing like the tisk, tisk, tisk right now. You can't see it. Bad Scientologist. Bad. So people always want to find meaning. And so it's like, all right, like what do I need to explain in my life? Like, let's do CrossFit, kettlebells, squats, when I'm doing some push-ups and doing some bench pressing with some shoulder lifts, this explains everything. Let me go to work on Monday knowing that I know the meaning of life.
And I can tell everybody all the tricks that I can do from CrossFit.
Yes, that meaning of life is when you're flipping a tire, you've never felt more alive.
Well, that might actually be kind of true.
Well, you know what?
I can flip a bike tire.
Well, a bike tire, like a small one, like a child's
Yeah, I'm
bike
very
tire?
strong.
Like not filled with air? Just
Correct.
a flat bike. Okay.
Superwoman.
Well, I'm actually just going to ask you to do that just because.
We'll make it a TikTok reel.
But I don't actually want to take the tire off any bike.
I'll flip the bike.
Well, didn't you do CrossFit?
I did.
And?
Well, I never got to do the tricks that they did. The handstands never worked for me. But, I could do a solid burpee and I fell in love with the rowing machine. And then I fell out of love with it. And here we are today.
So did the pastor, coach in CrossFit, did he kick you out? He kicked you out.
I was more of a soloist.
He was like,
I don't like group activities. So I would do it all by myself. They would post the WOD, the workout of the day.
Oh.
Gotta check the WOD.
See, there is a religion to this.
It was very culty.
Do they have pamphlets?
Probably.
Is there There's probably books.
There's probably many books. So the meaning of life.
Yeah. The meaning of life, not CrossFit, probably. Maybe it's like 35%. So people want to find the meaning of life so they can move on with their life. That's my thing. That's my theory.
Makes sense.
And I think the reason for that is our brain wants to make sense of things. If we can't make sense of things, then we're going to be stuck in place. So I was in the office the other day.
Okay.
And people next to me are talking. I can hear them. I can choose to block them out if I want to, but I can hear them. So if I'm like, oh, let me tune into this story, then, I can. And if I kind of want to block it out, I can. But it's legible to me. Now, the door is open. And now I can kind of hear these half conversations because it's not quite loud enough for me to hear. And then all of a sudden my brain hates this.
Yeah.
Because it needs to find some order of words. Like, it's like, no, I need the full story.
That's when you lean back in your chair and you're like, Sharon, can you speak louder? I want to hear the rest of the story.
I think you might be a little bit more inquisitive than I am.
That's a very kind way to put it.
Yeah, you would like just kind of mosey on over to the door. Just like,
put your ear against the wall.
I printed something. I got to go get it. And they're like, nobody's printed anything since like 1987.
The printer's jammed. I just have to stand here and wait for it to unjam.
Well, you like a good office story. So your brain hates it, right?
Yeah, it would drive me crazy. It legitimately would drive me crazy.
Yeah, like close the door. Like I don't need to hear the half conversation.
You're either all in or you're all out.
Well, because your brain's trying to make sense of it. And if it can't get that order, then you're just like, oh, this is all I can think of. So the idea is that it's a broken pattern. It's called like cognitive strain. And your brain, I guess, like, I don't know, like AI now, it's constantly trying to predict what's coming next, And this is why you can read words that have like letters that are messed up in the middle because your brain's just predicting like what the word is, and it knows these things, and it is looking for a predictable rhythm. So like it's like we need some bass and some drums to keep the rhythm going. We don't need some guy wah-wahing on a guitar for 10 minutes. We don't need that. All right. I then have to bring up the absurd. So what happens when you just embrace the fact that everything that we know in this life is absurd? Meaning, what if there is no meaning to life? Is that a sad thought to you?
That's absurd.
But is that a sad thought to you?
Yes.
There is no meaning. There is no religion. There's no CrossFit. There's no Scientology. We are searching for answers in a universe that is not wanting to say anything. It's just quiet, silent. We try to search for this, but really we're just in this small little floating rock surrounded by endless black.
That's more than just sad. That's like terrifying, actually. Space scares me.
I know you don't like space.
Don't. Space movies are horror movies.
So this is a quote from Albert Camus, who is a French philosopher.
Okay.
Oh, wait. What's you know this? What's an EGOT?
Oh, I've got this. That's
right
an
up your alley.
Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony winner. EGOT. Not many of them.
Okay, well,
John Legend. Sorry, I wanted to
who
name
do you
one.
think is the most undeserving EGOT?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you know them? Do you have like a list of them? Is it a long list? Is it like people who've thrown a no-hitter? There's a lot of them, but like perfect game, a lot less.
No, it's not a long list. How do we feel about Mel Brooks?
Oh, do not talk ill of Mel Brooks. Just go ahead and skip that one.
I'm just saying he's controversial.
It is. How is he controversial? He's a legend. Okay, no. Tell me how he's controversial first. Maybe I don't know anything. Sometimes you don't know something about it. You're like, you know what? This Woody Allen is fantastic. I love this guy.
Oh, boy, guys.
Amazing.
I feel like our listeners are like, did you miss the part in the news when he was going on his like rants about Jewish people?
He is Jewish.
He was going on those drunken rants.
About Jewish people?
Are you sure?
Are you talking about Mel Gibson, not Mel Brooks?
Oh.
So I put on Lincoln Vampire Hunter. And we were about 25 to 30 minutes in.
Uh-huh.
And you kind of turned to me and you're like, I didn't expect this to be that movie who won all the Academy Awards. And I was like, this is not Lincoln with Daniel Day-Lewis.
I couldn't understand it. I'm like, I mean, I'm enjoying the movie. It's not bad, but like, I really don't understand how it was like getting all these accolades. And like, when is Lewis going to make an appearance?
I mean, absolutely. One movie was way more entertaining than the other, but yeah, it definitely didn't win any Academy Awards, nor did True Lies. Although maybe, who knows? Special effects, I don't know. Anyways.
I don't think anybody is undeserving, but I would say that my favorites, I mean, I really do like John Legend, but Audrey Hepburn, and she's pretty amazing. I'm into her. And Viola Davis. She's like one of the newer ones, and I'm very excited for her. I like Viola.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if people would feel she's deserving or not, but she's the newest member, and I'm a fan. I think that was like 2023. Like you don't get them very often. I think Lady Gaga's vying for one right now.
Mm.
She just can't quite win the Song of the Year.
That one I think will be contentious.
Really though, she's super talented and she acts. Like she's actually done really well in her acting.
I think she was fine. I haven't seen all her movies. And nor do I really know a whole lot about her. I'm just saying I know she's a controversial subject in general.
Well, that's true.
And you know what? That's okay. Not everybody has to agree that she's a great actress. or she can sing.
Well, she can. Fight me.
No, I think
even
what
my
I've
grandmother
heard
is like mesmerized by her.
Well, I mean, if your grandma likes her, then you know, I think she maybe has crossed some lines.
She's a woman with a lot of opinions, guys.
Well, okay. So who's the least deserving on that list? Just curious. Is there a lot of people?
No, there's not.
Okay.
I don't know who's the least deserving.
Well, there's probably people you don't know. They're like, this person was born before I was born.
Well, Audrey Hepburn, but I know her.
Do you know her as she was a singer?
She does all the things. She got it posthumously. So I guess that could be controversial that she didn't get it when she was alive. So let's go with that. That's controversial.
Okay,
but
like that's a hot take.
Yeah, because otherwise, like Andrew Lloyd Webber, how are you going to fight that? Like they're deserving. So let's go with Audrey. She's controversial. What's your take? I sense a point coming.
Oh, my take? Oh, yes. I was just, I don't really know enough of them, but I was like, I don't know. John Legend is kind of weak.
Whoa.
I don't know enough about him. I'm sure he's a fine fellow. So Albert Camus is a
not
French
an
philosopher. Just to kind of give you an idea of like the time that he was alive.
Okay.
It was like 1913, he was born.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a PJNPR. He was a everything burger. So He was a philosopher, a journalist, a novelist, a playwright, a resistance fighter, and a priest.
He was a priest?
No. So one of those is not true. And he definitely was not a religious man. And I'll tell you why. Because this man thought there was, again, no meaning in life. We live in an absurd world where we are trying to find meaning when there is absolutely zero meaning to be found. Now,
I don't like Camus.
this sounds like nihilism, right? You know, that there's just like no inherent meaning, values, nothing matters. Well, what is that? What is this show? Is it Daria?
Daria.
Okay, that was like an old MTV show where she's just like, no. Or is that like Wednesday Addams? You think she's like a nihilist or she's like a nihilist with a heart? Anyways, just because you're a nihilist.
Don't give her a heart. She doesn't want one.
No, just because you're a nihilist doesn't mean that you're like, you know, a bad person. It just means you're misinformed. So, no. Maybe they're right. I don't know. So a nihilist would be like, you know what? Everything is hopeless. Everything is, an illusion.
Who wants to be their friend?
I mean, have you ever been friends with somebody who's like Wednesday Addams? Do you think? I feel like that's kind of in. Nihilism is like, I feel like that's like the thing that you believe when you're like, I don't know, like wearing black makeup in high school. You know what I mean?
So our goth crowd. Yeah, I could see that. I'm picturing the goth crowd, and they told me that I would fit in because I was really fair skinned with blue eyes and I looked good in eyeliner, but they said I was a little too perky, so they kicked me out. So that would track.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know
my brother,
if goth
though.
people know what goth people are. Probably are. There's like a real like, you know how like people call like, you know, like everybody a gypsy, but like there's a very specific, you know, origin to a gypsy, but now everybody's just a gypsy from everywhere.
Yes, I agree with you on that.
Yeah. So I think there is like a real like, you know, coven of goth, and they're just like, look, all these people are fake. And they need to graduate high school, and then they'll take off the makeup.
Well,
Now,
I was in high school during that time.
did you wear black makeup?
I just wore black eyeliner.
You look like Sting, probably.
Are you talking about the wrestler?
Yeah.
Love him.
Yeah. So nihilism and absurdism share some things.
Okay.
Now, there's also existentialism, which again is like life doesn't really have many meaning. You got to really create your own. You have the freedom of choice. You know, you can go ahead and try to find your authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Absurdism's like, look, that's ridiculous. Don't even try to make meaning of anything. You know what? Rebel. Just be aware of the fact that this is all ridiculous. And the desire for meaning is natural, but the world and universe don't care what you think, you know? So here's kind of like a good quote from Camus that I think does a good job of condensing this down. He says, "The absurd is born of this confrontation between the human need and the unreasonable silence of the world." That's pretty cool. That's pretty cold-blooded right there. So
Yeah, but I feel like I'm in school trying to dissect the quote and write a paper about what it means.
well, you know, what he's saying is we have this need innately to try to find meaning.
Mhm.
And if there's no meaning, we just have to accept that, because that meaning, if there is one, is just being really tight-lipped about it. So like, what do you do now? What do you think? What do you think he says? Like, what should we do? What kind of life should we live?
I don't know. A fulfilled one.
Okay. Yeah, he's fine with living a fulfilled life. You know, he's like, yeah, go for it. Be fulfilled. You know, morality is absurd in general,
Mhm.
but, you know, like still be a good person. You know, he's not like saying, you know, commit crimes, don't, you know, be a good person. You know, he's not saying that necessarily.
Mhm.
Now, I think Lustig, I think he was an absurdist, you know?
Well, selling the Eiffel Tower twice is pretty absurd. So
Well, exactly.
is that what made him tick?
He was
Living
like,
in
well,
the absurd?
yeah, why not? As good of an explanation as anything. He was like, look, man, like, I think a con man actually, I think that's like a natural absurdist.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, the world is weird. And like,
I'm going to do me, you do you.
Let's just go for it. Hey, the Eiffel Tower, let's pretend I can sell that, Like, why not? What's the worst that can happen? You have to be pretty bold to be a con man in general. I couldn't be a con man.
No.
I don't even like to, like order in person. So, like it takes a lot of, not caring to go ahead and do this. So the one other quote that's, well, I'll let you decide.
Mm-hmm.
He says, there is but one truly serious philosophical problem, and that is suicide.
That's depressing.
Well, it sounds depressing, but really what he's saying is don't kill yourself, Live life. Yeah. Yeah. What are you doing? You got one life. Go for it. Live with passion. Live with integrity. Be defiant.
Okay. But this particular person did not live with integrity. He was conning people. The poor first guy that bought the Eiffel Tower from him was like brand spanking new. I'm just saying there wasn't much integrity.
Okay. Well, why don't we say this?
Mm-hmm.
Again, that we all know sociopaths, we all know psychos, right?
I may have seen a few reels or two from this like person that claims that he is one. It's a wild ride to watch his page.
Well, here's the thing though. You don't have to check every box. You know what I mean? So I think he checks enough absurdist boxes.
I could go with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think there is one parable that explains and condenses this whole movement the best.
Okay.
And this is called The Myth of the Sisyphus. And he wrote this in 1942. Now, again, I think this is his clearest philosophical statement, and it's a quick thought experiment. So Sisyphus, I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No, it just sounds like you're naming a disease.
Sisyphus, not a disease. Sisyphus was, in Greek mythology, he angered the gods. So what they did is they told him, you are damned to push this rock up a hill forever, only to watch it fall again.
That's annoying.
Well, it sounds horrible.
Well, yeah, it sounds like torture.
Okay. So most, of course, would say that this is a horrible torment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Sisyphus is aware of this. So Camus would say, one must imagine that Sisyphus is happy. And I think this is the best way to describe it. You embrace absurd. No matter what's happening, you might as well smile. And when we're talking about Lustig, he just seemed like a guy who was like, hey, how about I do this and see what happens? So Lustig, I think, took Camus to heart and he said, everything's absurd. So instead of rebelling against it, why don't I just sell it?
Okay, well, that leads me to my next question. You're saying why not sell it? So why are people more likely to fall for a con when it makes them feel special? Because remember, I mentioned the guy that he sold it to the first time. And I think one could argue that he made him feel very special. Like, oh, this is your first time in this like industry. Oh, I'll cut you a deal. Like, I'll sell you the Eiffel Tower. You can look like a big deal to your new colleagues. Why do they fall for that?
So do you know that the American Film Institute just released the top 100 films of all time?
No, did I miss a really cool list?
Well, it's up to you if you agree with it, but I saw this. Number 6 is the movie True Lies. Do you know what that movie? Have you?
That's the movie you made me watch with Arnold.
Yes. So True
that
Lies.
Was number 6?
Yes. So True Lies starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis, directed by James Cameron, it wasn't the 6th.
Stop conning me through this whole episode. You said, guys, he said he was not a good liar, and typically he's not.
It was not the 6th best movie of all time. It was a pretty good movie though. So if you haven't watched it, and I don't think you finished it. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, I did. No, you made me watch it like 5 nights.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but I bet you can explain very little of it.
I can explain.
Well, you probably couldn't explain why it's one of the most amazing movies of all time. And so this is a premise. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a secret agent.
Mm-hmm.
His wife, Jamie Lee Curtis, does not know this. She thinks he's a boring salesman. So she moves along in a pretty boring life, and he pretends to live a pretty boring life. Now, cut to Bill Paxton, R.I.P.
Gosh, another may he rest in peace.
So Bill Paxton is a used car salesman. And now I'm not saying this because he was a used car salesman. So let's not get that wrong. But he was a used car salesman and all around, it wasn't great. He wasn't a good guy.
A little slimy?
He was a little slimy. You know what, though? He wasn't violent. He just lied. So I don't honestly think there was anything wrong with him. So Bill Paxton had this thing, a lot of guys have their thing, it's like their whole,
quirk.
No, not their quirk. It's like their whole like shtick. Like, how do I get a girl? Like, let's try this shtick, you know? And hey, how about I just pretend I'm really into her? That's a shtick. Just saying, be careful. Be careful, girls. He might not really be that into you.
That is also a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I agreed with the title. So he gets girls by pretending he's a secret agent. Now, obviously, you see how it's ironic that, he's pretending to be a secret agent. Her husband is pretending not to be a secret agent.
Yeah.
It's all very good.
It's a little
fun,
absurd.
Except that he's tricking women into sleeping with him. So his whole thing is he pretends to be a secret agent. Now, she gets really excited about this because she has no excitement in life. So she falls for it. Now, what he does is he pretends like she's in on this whole secret agent thing. Like he needs her help.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the fallacies that con men use. So like for Lustig, it's like that us against them mentality.
Yeah.
So they're like, hey, look, we're in on this together. Everybody else, they're trying to get us.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this one is really interesting and scary. So what they're going to always try to do is like shift the moral framework of a person. So you have your own morality and ethics, but once you're inside the scheme, they're kind of like, hey, like, forget about like your normal, like, moral and ethical decisions, like, why don't you just kind of do what I'm doing? And this is scary because I feel like this is how certain crimes happen. Because you're like all of a sudden just kind of going there for like, I don't know, you're just like, I just want to pick up like an eighth, like I'm going to go an eighth of marijuana, which is legal now. So you're going, and this is why marijuana should be legal because, there's some pretty shady places that I've had to go to just to get some very harmless plant substances. So I'm just saying, all of a sudden you're dealing with some interesting fellows and you're just a good guy who just wants to relax. So anyway, like say something happens at this drug dealer's house. Next thing I know, I'm throwing like a candlestick at some guy and he might have a gun and now I'm like getting in fights and this is how like, when like something goes wrong in a bank robbery or something else, like that's not actually supposed to be too serious. And next thing you're like, well, I'm all in. So I guess I'm a criminal and I might have to shoot this guy.
But not Victor. He was not violent.
He just lied.
Exactly.
Yes. But this is that shifting of moral framework that I do think is a scary concept.
Where people get a little more malleable.
Well, there is like kind of that part of it where I think it's like that that feeling of you've put too much into it. So you don't want to stop now. So sense. It's a sunk cost theory, like I've already put in $1,000 in the slot machine. What's 200 more? I'm all in now. so
very, very bad.
Thought
process.
That is definitely a thing. Mm-hmm. So he's like empowering her, and I'm talking about Bill Paxton. And what he was doing the same thing. Like with that young salesman, he was like, hey, like you're going to get rich off this. People are going to love you. Like you're going to be able to buy new business cards. Your fedora. Did they wear fedoras? What did they wear in 1920? So yeah, I think that's another one of the biggest things. And like the fallacies that he's going to use, of course, is he pretended to be like an authority figure, right? Like he was impersonating, political government official to get the, okay. So, it's like you see somebody that's authoritative. Like, when you're young, you think older people are smart, and you realize when you get older that they're not. But when you're a child, you think older people are smart. Whatever happens to be. Like, so if you see like some, I don't know, wizened person in robes and a lightsaber, like, it's a Jedi. So you're going to really trust whatever they do.
A Jedi?
A Jedi.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is goals.
Yes. If you see one, just know that they're going to take care of business.
We saw one of them at Disney.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like the nerd convention.
It was not a nerd convention.
I'm just kidding.
It was a May the 4th be with you. Like,
do you know what it was? I was really jealous, actually, when I saw them all come in.
I was too. And then like
jealous,
the setup.
Why I wasn't part of this.
I want the robes.
I mean, I want the whole thing, but, now I feel like I would just be a poser. Like when you go to a stagecoach and you're not really a cowboy, and you have to like run to a store like the night before and buy yourself some cowboy boots and a hat, and then you just kind of like try to play it off. Like, do they sell like little things of hay so you can put that in your mouth? Like,
probably.
Or is Amazon. That weed? Is that hay that they do in the stereotype that I'm trying to create?
I mean,
that like the cowboys are biting on hay.
I know what you're getting at, hay or
wheat.
wheat. It could be anything.
I think it's wheat. Okay. Anyways. Yeah. And then there's like, the bandwagon thing. Everybody's doing it. It's like the mom's biggest fear. It's FOMO. It's a very, very powerful motivator. And then they're doing that thing where it's like, hey, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, man. It's going to be gone tomorrow. Like, you got to act now.
It's Saul Goodman.
Saul Goodman? Well,
I mean, I don't know if
show.
Yeah, I liked it a little bit better than Breaking Bad. And I did not think that was going to happen. I didn't even want to watch the show, Better Call Saul. If you haven't watched the show, you totally have to watch it. He was more con man to me than like the show that he originated from, Breaking Bad. Like, yeah, Walter White did his thing, but like Saul Goodman, was he not like the ultimate con man? He always made people feel like, yeah, you're part of it. You're special. Like, I mean, he did like his elderly crowd, though. He actually really did take care of them, though. Well, at least with their wills. Other than that, not so much. He was conning them, but he made them all feel very special.
Well, I mean, that's
and they all fell for it, hook, line, and sinker.
If Bob Odenkirk tells me anything,
don't listen.
I'm probably gonna listen.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, it has a very honest face to him. I think.
But you guys can take a look at Victor's mugshot and decide if you think he has an honest face as well.
I mean, what do you think of him?
I mean, I wouldn't think that he sold the Eiffel Tower, but I do think he's a little shifty. I remember when I was looking him up, I found his passport application, which was interesting because he lied all up and down that, but his picture was attached to it. That's how I knew, even though the information didn't seem to like jive with who I knew he was. I knew it was him because, in those records, you can see the picture. And I'm like, dude, he just looks like he's up to something. He just has like a shifty face to me. I mean, I would think he was violent, but he was not.
Just lied.
He just lied. Moral to the story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I got, man. That's the con game. Huh? You too can be a con man. You just have to believe.
So now we know that he wasn't violent. He just lied. And that's how he made people fall for it because they felt special. Do you think that someone like Lustig could ever really stop? Like, once you're in the con, can you really isn't it like an addiction?
When I was a con man and selling pictures in Hollywood,
You're SpongeBob?
I was not SpongeBob, but Buzz Lightyear, if you remember, had a really good run from 2005 to 2007.
Yeah.
Some say he was the best at what he did.
Wow.
So anyways, it was a tough life to get out of. I have to imagine that he also had a tough time. No, I think he, okay, so if we're going to assume and make just big assumptions, we're trying to be, fun. We don't know what was really driving him. So we're just, oh, hey, let's go ahead and theorize. So we did talk about Friedrich Nietzsche.
Ooh, Nietzsche's making a return.
He's like, I like Nietzsche. I like him. Yeah. Even though some people said he was a Nazi.
Oh.
He was not a Nazi.
Are we sure?
Yes, because he died before that whole thing. So let me go over this theory, and you'll kind of see why they decided to. I feel like it's like when you use like a song. You know how like people don't like when people are using their songs to come out into like political conventions. Because they're basically like using their idea to
their likeness. Yeah.
So his whole thing again is you got to find the Ubermensch. Now the Ubermensch is a Superman. He's the best man. And he has the will to power. Now you can kind of see where they decided they were going to go ahead and maybe grab the slogan because, we all know about World War II. So it was not obviously meant to mean anything about having any kind of superiority with race or creed or anything of that nature. It was a very kind of like a hypothetical, because it wasn't something that gave steps. It was just like, hey, I think that this is probably like a good way to live. So there was, again, and I think we went over this, there's kind of like 3 different types of people. Ubermensch is the third. The first is the last man. And the last man, again, is probably really that stereotypical like American that everybody imagines. Like just sit in front of the TV, you eat and like, the worst food. I got Popeyes.
That is not the worst food. You take that back.
Okay. Well, it's not healthy.
KFC.
Is KFC better? Okay.
Yeah.
They're just like sitting there and they're eating like KFC and down in it with some like, Coke, not diet. Just real, we want
they're a Pepsi product place. And
we want it to
everything.
be cane sugar, but Coke, real Coke, like the real stuff. And, so anyways, they're just kind of going with the flow. They want to get as much, they want to get as much pleasure in life as possible, and they're not really thinking of much else. So I guess it would be like somebody who just lives a simple life of pleasure. So kind of like maybe like a hedonistic person. So then you have the herd. And I think it sounds worse than it is, but the herd is they still conform to norms, but they're starting to think outside of the box. So they're still kind of rooted in, once again, he is not a religious man. So he's like, don't fall for religion, guys. So he thinks that they're like the people who are still, following religion and they're just like, have that whole like Catholic guilt and fear and, they need to get past that. And then finally you get to the Ubermensch, who's just like, he's just like the cool guy. Like he is absolutely transcended things. He is like the guy who's ripped out of his mind but he's still helping the little man. He's like that guy at high school that, you'd think would be like a real big like D-bag, but like he's actually super cool. That's so cool that you're like, I don't even know how this guy is so cool. He's so good looking.
16 Candles.
But that guy was not a good actor.
Well, he might not have been a good actor, but he was supposedly, based on the movie, he was, the cool, popular guy that like was friends with the nerd.
Well, what was it? What was the guy that liked her too?
Jake Ryan. Oh, the other one.
Yeah.
Ducky. Wasn't he Ducky?
Yeah, Ducky. 2.5 Men. Yeah. I mean, okay. I mean, let's be honest. I wouldn't go for Ducky either. So,
guys.
Even if the other guy couldn't act.
Ducky's Pretty in Pink.
Yeah.
You got to remember Molly Ringwald, had like 2 very similar movies. 16 Candles is the one with Jake Ryan.
Yes. Yeah, they are like the same movie, but I think John Hughes, same director, same writer.
Yeah, Blaine is the one in Pretty in Pink.
It's like
same concept though.
It's kind of how like we had like 40-Year-Old Virgin and then like Wedding Crashers and then like Anchorman. They're just all kind of like nonsensical comedies,
Yeah.
Like they all kind of blend together and they're all amazing.
Similar concepts, yeah.
I miss this time in my life. And you know why? Because I like to dwell on being a millennial. So anyways, they don't make them like they used to.
An elder millennial.
They would never make Anchorman 2. Anchorman 2, a little rough. So Ubermensch, they're like real independent people, they're courageous. They overcome all the hardship in life. They're not guided by religion and tradition, and they build their own value system. Now, I think that's what Lustig was trying to do. you know, hey, like, why not? He was like, look, I'm not like everybody else. I'm the Ubermensch. Like, I'm the ideal person that is not following normal society rules, and I'm making up my own rules.
So, I mean, realistically, no, somebody like him could never stop. I mean, he didn't stop when he was in jail either. Like, he kind of just went out the same way. He never dropped his act ever.
Well, there's where the dark Ubermensch comes into play. Yeah. So
okay, tell me more.
So he's like the twin with the mustache, the twirls. You know what I mean? He's like the twin that we're all black in high school. You know. So it was like, hey, there's Roger over there, and there's his brother. You know, Rick. We don't really talk to him. He wants to be called Axel. We don't know why. So there's like that true Ubermensch, and then let's just make up the dark Ubermensch, which is just like supposed to be the polar opposite of it. Mm-hmm. Because he thinks he's doing this thing where he's like, you know, again, he's like, I'm a beacon of making up my own rules, and I'm still discarding normal morality, and I'm authentic. However, really what he was, you know, he was manipulative. You know, all he did was take. You know, he was a parasite on the world. He was a liar. But he wasn't violent. So you know.
He wasn't violent.
So his purpose in life wasn't to like build anything good. It was just to, you know, dismantle it, you know, like the Eiffel Tower, just take it apart like scrap metal. So, you know, I think ultimately, let's go with that. It's kind of a fun theory. It's like the inverse of the actual Ubermensch. So he's like, you know, he's like the guy who thinks he's building something great, you know, and what he ends up building is like a pyramid scheme. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, he's the original.
He's the original Ponzi. What, did they have Ponzi schemes? Because
I'm sure.
I think, yeah. Let's just call him the dark Ubermensch Ponzi.
Let's add Ponzi scheme to our list of like mugshots. I want to find somebody like the earliest Ponzi scheme. If it comes back and it's him.
Oh, it's going to be like in an ancient, like Sumeria.
I'm going to.
People are people, man, no matter what. There's always been a Ponzi scheme. Like, hey, why don't you give me like one of those ruples and like I'll totally invest it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to buy that cow over there and then I'm going to sell the milk and look, I'm good for it. You're going to make a lot of money.
Dude, his poor like wife and daughter. Like, have we even acknowledged the fact that he is married and has a kid and he's like, I'm going to just go to Paris and I'm going to do the thing and then I'll be back. And then he didn't because, well, he did the thing and then he was like, I want to try it again. And then he gets arrested. And now his poor wife and daughter are just all by themselves because he literally couldn't stop.
Oh, I looked this up.
What?
Do you know what she said when she took the stand? She had to take the stand against him.
She had to testify against her husband?
Yeah. So like she, like at one point did she
choose to?
No, at one point she jumped up and she was like, he's not a violent man. He just lies.
I can't stand you. I'm like, I did the deep like research and I'm like, how did he find this? And I didn't even know that she testified. Again.
She may have.
We're finding out that you are quite the con artist. Typically in life, guys, you really can't pull one over on me. So I don't know.
No, so do you know what? I don't think I ever went over the Minority Report thing.
Oh no, it's my fault. I derailed us.
Yeah, no, okay. So let's bring that back.
Okay.
So no, I can't lie to you because like the Minority Report, the whole premise is they have these, they call them precogs. And they're like psychic people that see the future. So before you even kill somebody, they know you're going to kill them. And then they arrest you before you even kill them. So the idea is like, you know, challenging free will and whatnot. My point is, you would know that I was going to lie to you before I even lied to you. So I don't try. That's my point. You're precog.
That's a name I've never had before, but I will take it.
Yeah, let's call you precog. Just cog for short.
No, that sounds too close to like hog, and that just sounds rude.
I call you caga, like Spanish, you know, with an A, female form. Cogita.
Yeah. That's baby cog.
Yeah, I'm glad our 5 years of Spanish went anywhere.
It was the conjugation of the verbs that did me in. I was doing so well until then. I was like, I'm lost.
Do you know, I was doing really well until I actually stepped into the class. You know what I mean? Because I didn't do very well at all.
Okay. So I've got one final question for you. Do you think Victor's need to deceive was tied more to like thrill seeking or just ego validation?
So I think he liked the ego validation because again, let's go back and just say, hey, I didn't meet the man, but he's absurdist. I'm like 100% sure. No, I'm not. But let's say he was an absurdist, and let's say he was the dark Ubermensch. Let's just go in series. So, what would actually push him to continue to do this? Right. That's a good question. Like, yes, he's chasing that ego. Now, why would he be chasing this ego? Because maybe he's been shaped this way. Everything he's done, he's been reinforced, So it's not even something that he is inherently doing. He doesn't have any free will on this. This is all just like, hey, he does something, he's getting rewarded. He's doing something, he's getting rewarded. It's like, what some would say, it's like a rat in the box. Getting that food, finding a way to get it. And if they get it, they're going to keep coming back to get it. And there was a guy named B.F. Skinner that devised Lynyrd Skynyrd. That is a band that you like, correct?
Yeah.
What do they sing?
So Many Things. Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh, okay. Freebird? They're the Freebird people.
Okay, I don't like that song. But Simple Man, I feel like you like that song.
Yeah, I think that's good. I don't know. Maybe it's like, okay, so off topic.
Like much of this pod has been.
Off topic. Like I didn't like Linkin Park, right? Now, hold on. I got a point here. When I was in high school, they played the same 3 songs over and over and over and over again. I didn't have their album. Now, back then, of course, you had to buy a whole album. You had to go and get a CD. And before that, it was a tape. And they were expensive, and I had no money. So in order to get a CD, that was like a real investment. You're like, I'm going to go with like my go-tos. You know what I mean? Like, I know I like Dave Matthews. Real hardcore band if you've never listened to Dave Matthews. Quite
the opposite of Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Well, okay. So going back to it, Linkin Park, didn't like them. Now, the reason I didn't like them is because they played the same 3 songs and it made me not like them because I'm like, God, 3 songs. Now, Linkin Park, that's not their fault. It's not their fault that they kept on playing the same 3 songs. They have other good songs, which I realized later in life when I actually got Apple Music and it was like, just download whatever you want, and Linkin Park, I apologize. Now,
can we also do a quick rest in peace for Chester? This is our 3rd one, and I don't want to talk about any more dead people.
Okay. Well, I could have used a different band maybe. Yes, R.I.P. I do like Linkin Park now, and I take everything I said back. They're pretty good. Okay, so what is the point of this? I don't like Lynyrd Skynyrd because I've heard Freebird and Simple Man and Sweet Home Alabama so many times, and all I can think of is like how Southern I am not. And I'm like, I must be missing something here. Like, it's okay, like I get it, woo, go south. But I think maybe if I listen to their whole albums, I can't. 3 songs. I just, my mind just is, we're not there. I'm not Lynyrd Skynyrd fan. Okay. It's okay though. You can be one.
I'm just saying, when we go, my dad's a musician, y'all. When we see him perform, we'll have him do Give Me 3 Steps. And maybe you'll have 4 songs.
Did you hear how she had to throw in the y'all?
Oh, well, I do say that.
Yeah.
All the time.
Hey, all y'all.
Bless your heart.
Did you hear her say that, y'all?
Bless his sweet little heart. He doesn't understand Skinner.
Yeah. This is like your Spanish. No.
My Southern's coming out.
No, my Southern is like my Spanish. Not very good. So, anyways.
Sorry, who is this? Was it a philosopher? I just hear Skinner, and that's what I think.
No. He's like a psychologist, scientist, I guess you would say. So B.F. Skinner, his thing is operant conditioning. So he's a behaviorism. So it's kind of like Pavlov, right? Like that's kind of similar thing. Like you do something and you reinforce a behavior. Mm-hmm. And like I don't know. I really want to talk about the guy because he's kind of boring. Like at a bar, you're going to want to talk to like the existentialists, right? They're like, the universe is this and it's shaped like this and it means nothing. And you know, like those guys would probably be fun after like 2 pitchers. Like BF Skinner is going to be like, bro, you know, the reason you drink that beer is because you're rewarded with being drunk. And he'd be like, dude,
please stop talking.
Come on, BF. Like, stop pruning the vibe. But his whole thing is like everything you do is shaped by the rewards and or lack of rewards. Basically, the idea is that you are totally conditioned by the results of an action. And he said something like, give me a young man and I'll turn him into anything. Which I wanted to be an NBA player, you know, and you couldn't operant condition me to jump. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, BF. I think you're wrong about that, man. But anyways, so that's my whole thing with Lustig. Like, for example, positive reinforcement, right? This is like kid stuff. Like, this is how you raise your kids, right? Like, so if you add something pleasant, you're going to increase their behavior, right? And you're like, hey, you're going to get money if you do your chores. No, they'll probably do their chores. Now, there's also like negative reinforcement, which is not the same as like punishment. It's like you're taking something away unpleasant to increase behavior. So I guess maybe like the thought would be like, you know, like if you take Vicodin, you're removing the pain and therefore you're reinforcing the fact that you freaking love some Vicodin. And you're probably going to, you know, elevate yourself to Percocet. And then maybe if you can find that. No, I'm just kidding. So, yeah. Anyways, so that would be negative reinforcement. So for him, like, let's think, being right, like you watch those gangster movies. Why are they gangsters? Because they couldn't imagine living in like a real life where they have to do a 9 to 5. So for him, he was just removing that boring like responsibility of life. You know, like that's how I'm making money. You know, and in the positive reinforcement, he was like, I am getting money, so I'm going to keep on doing this. Now they have like positive punishment and that's like you add something unpleasant. So that's like, you know, you ground your kids in order to get some kind of like result. But he didn't really get punished until then, right? Like he kind of like got away with it. I mean, so
he did. He quickly got caught when he sold the Eiffel Tower a second time. He should have stopped while he was ahead. But you know what? He did get to con Al Capone. So I feel like that's.
Oh, yeah.
He got away with it for quite some time. That's
good. You know, like, well, that's another thing. This was probably like where he got his dopamine, you know? It was like the con. The con was what it was. But Skinner would say the reason he did this is because of the results. So like the last one would be negative punishment. So what you're doing is you're taking something that's good to decrease the behavior. So for him, I guess it would be jail. But again, he didn't really get that negative punishment. So again, there's a lot of positive things in this. You know, the negative part of these things weren't really what he ended up, this wasn't really part of his life. And I think that's why all this behavior continued. Now, I guess the last thing is extinction. And that just basically means like there's nothing, you know, there's like no reinforcement. Like the dinosaurs, there is none of them. Therefore, we don't see them. And well, that's the no reinforcement. If like you get nothing from doing something, you'll probably not do it. Which I guess kind of makes sense. Like if you do a hobby, you do it because it gives you something, you know, like satisfaction.
Yeah, you ignore the bully. Isn't that what you're taught? Like, I feel like that's like the earliest example of what you're saying. Ignore the bully because then the bully is just going to be bored with you. They're not getting the satisfaction.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. Good job.
Thank you.
Good job. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's why he kept on doing it as well. He never experienced not getting something from a con. He always got something that he could, you know, hang on to. Mm-hmm. So let's do a little bit of that. Yeah, he just with his life, he never got enough threat, right? Like his wife obviously didn't change him at all. You know?
No, and we've covered this before, ladies.
And obviously her testimony on the stand changed nothing about his sentencing.
I can't with that.
She tried. Like, you know, she was like doing like I'm ripping my hair out and stuff. But it didn't work. So the other thing I'd like to go over, because this is always my favorite, Because this I totally 100%. This is like the one thing I always take out of Skinner's theories. So there is variable reinforcement. And this is like the best type of reinforcement to get somebody to continue to behavior. And this comes from giving somebody something only some of the time. So gambling, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you're going to win and sometimes you're not. And it kind of like hits something in your brain where you're like, oh, but because this is what's funny. I agree. You know, so like if somebody gives you something for free, you're like, you know, like it probably doesn't have any value because you're giving it to me for free.
Sure.
Now, if somebody charges $1 for something, you're like, oh my God, it's just $1 though. Like now I know it has value, but they're actually giving it to me for only $1. And that's what's
wild that's so true.
Yeah, it's what's wild. Like it really, I fall for that all the time. And then I'm like, what? I didn't even really want this for $1. So this is a thought experiment that I like to do. So it keeps me from buying dollar things. I think to myself, when you see that dollar sale, you're like, oh, it's only $1. I'm gonna miss out on this. What is the whole thing they make fun of women launch?
Target.
So it's like it's 60% off. Like,
oh yeah, I was just thinking of Target's like front section where everything is like $1.
Oh, well, yeah.
So there's that. But yeah, when you're online and things are like on sale and there's only one left, so you better hurry up and check out because it's in like 3,000 people's carts. I've never been caught like trapped in that scheme.
So let's all do a little reconnaissance. If you are ever at like a clothing store or any store really, watch the sale section where it's like, hey, these are $20, right? Like, so we know. These shorts are $20. Now, if you see, I don't want to generalize, but if you see a woman go up there, they know it's $20. But what are they going to do? They're checking that tag to see how much.
How much was it originally?
How much was it originally? Even though, you know, that's probably a total crock. But they're like, oh, $69 originally. So I'm really saving $40. I'm losing $40 if I don't buy this $20 shorts. You know what I mean? That's some logic. Just saying. Just look. They will always look at the tag and be like in their brain, how much am I saving on this? Ooh, that's great. Because if it was $99 originally, like they're more apt to buy it than if it was originally like $39. I'm only saving $10. This is worthless.
We have to go there because otherwise, when you look at the regular section, you're like, oh, that is a really cute shirt. And then you flip the tag, you're like, not for that price. And then you wait until it's in the sales. And you're like, I have got a deal. Leave us women alone.
I'm just saying some people, guys.
Be a better bargain shopper.
Guys do it too, right?
You don't really shop that much.
I mean, some guys do. I just don't know that they look at it that way. I think guys are more like, oh yeah, shorts, $20, go get.
Okay, K-Fed.
Fit nice, buy 4, each color, I'm out. And then they don't go to the store for another 2 years. So if you look at something and it's $1, like in the front of Target, right? Mm-hmm. If you look at that thing that you're about to pay $1 for, think to yourself, would I even want it if it was free? If somebody just handed that to me, would I even want it? Do I have any need for this? No, but it's $1, therefore it has value. And you're thinking like, I guess I have to have it. So all to say, you have to have some variability. And that's exactly how gambling works and why people become so addicted to it. So for example, if, Judy's always answering that call, to come over, you're probably not going to reward it with too much, right? Now,
kind of take it there.
If Judy starts being a little bit variable about when she wants you to come over, maybe Judy gets some flowers. Maybe Judy actually gets to go out to dinner with you. I'm just saying, Judy, all right? You know what you're worth.
Know your worth, Judy.
Yeah.
Know your worth.
Yeah. Be variable. Be a variable ratio reinforcement. And, you'll probably get a little bit more out of it. Now, could have the girl out there at work and Judy comes in and she's like, Judy, you know how much you're worth? And Judy might just look at her and say, I do know what I'm worth, but sometimes I'm on sale. And for Lustig, a man that thought this whole world was an absurdity, a man who was conditioned by the world to do what he did, for a man who was not violent, but just liked to lie sometimes. The world was on sale and his ego had never been bigger.
So that was Victor Lustig, the Count, the illusionist, the man who sold the Eiffel Tower, twice. But more than that, he sold himself to millionaires in tuxedos, to mobsters with bodyguards, to bankers, to bartenders, to anyone who wanted to believe that they were the smartest person in the room. He didn't leave a trail of bodies. He left a trail of belief. And in a way, he's still out there. And every phishing email, and every too good to be true promise, and every slick pitch that makes you feel chosen. Because the con only works if you want it to be true. If you want to see Victor's mugshot, his forged passport, or the original news clippings from his case, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Mugshot Mysteries Podcast. Sources and full case files are linked in the show notes, including articles from the Des Moines Register, the Evening Sun, and the St. Louis Globe-Democrat. And if there's a face that you can't stop thinking about, a mugshot that haunts you, send it our way. And until next time,
Judy, stay suspicious.
Sneaky footsteps in the night, clues that vanish out of sight. Grab your hat and magnifying glass. We'll talk this case and have a blast. Mugshot mysteries, we're on the trail. Twists and turns that never fail. Laughs and chills, it's quite the show. Who did it? Tune in to know. A secret note, a shady figure in a trench coat. The clock is ticking, the plot gets thick. We'll crack this puzzle quick as a click. Mugshot mysteries, we're on the trail. Twists and turns that never fail. Laughs and chills, it's quite the show. Who did it? Tune in to know. Breadcrumbs through the haze. Every clue's a piece in this crazy maze. Fun and thrills wrapped in crime. You'll love it every single time. Mysteries, we're on the trail. Twists and turns that never fail. Laughs and chills.